legislative, executive, judicial, federalism. In the late 1700s, a debate took place regarding the government of the United States of America. There were two sides, the Anti-Federalists and the Federalists. They believed the Articles of Confederation should be abolished to create a stronger federal government. The main Federalists were Alexander Hamilton, John Jay, and James Madison. Eventually, their views formed the Constitution. This is the story of the ratification of the Constitution. Here, the Federalists are preparing to travel to New York.
Convincing New York to ratify the Constitution should be easy.
Yes, Mr. Madison, they will see that a strong federal government is necessary.
Of course they will.
Without it, the country is weak and disunited.
There is a need for a stronger national government to deal with these problems. Wake up, Mr. J. We're leaving for New York.
We're leaving already?
Without New York, the Constitution cannot be ratified because 9 out of the 13 states are needed for the new government to go into effect.
We can't let that happen.
A Republican government cannot be maintained in the large territory of the 13 states. A stable Republican government needs the support of the people.
Hello, Mr. Jefferson.
Mr. Henry.
And how are you, Mr. Mason?
Fine, thanks.
I just received word that New York is the next state to vote on the ratification of the Constitution.
Yes, without it, the economy would crumble.
Most certainly.
I believe too much power in the federal government will destroy the state governments.
The Constitution gives the government the power to tax, which is unneeded.
And the power to maintain a standing army.
The 3 branches of government need to be completely separate. Shall we discuss this over tea?
There is no time.
Nonsense, Mr. Jefferson. We are in no rush. These issues need to be discussed. We've almost arrived.
Do you think we'll be able to persuade New York to ratify the Constitution?
Why wouldn't they?
You're right. The checks and balances make certain that no branch has too much power and becomes tyrannical. Without this system, our government could not be a functional republic.
Yes, our rivals wrongly believe that this will just corrupt the government and eliminate liberty.
They're wrong.
Yes, because with our system of checks and balances, one branch checks another, so not one branch gains too much power. We've reached New York.
Mr. J, we've arrived.
It's time to convince them to ratify.
The Federalists believe that a 4-year term of presidency is desirable to keep the president independent from the passing opinions of the people.
But not too independent so as to disregard the needs of the people.
They also say that re-election provides stability to the government. However, the people of the United States are suspicious of executive power because of their experience with the British monarchy.
Oops, my fault.
But the Federalists argue against this.
Yes, they say that the president is liable to impeachment, trial, and dismissal from office, so the executive power cannot be abused. They also say that a Bill of Rights is unneeded because the Constitution already mentions their right.
Yes, indeed.
Hopefully, New York will not agree with this. Well, I kept you long enough. I assume you should be on your way.
Yes, we should probably get going. Mr. Mason, we're leaving. We'd like to speak about ratifying the Constitution.
Please sit down.
We'd like to explain our views about a bicameral legislature.
Two-year terms for representatives are necessary.
Why is that?
They make sure representatives don't become too independent.
Blah.
But they also allow representatives to acquire much-needed experience.
That makes sense. What about the qualifications for senators? The senator's qualifications are longer because it requires greater knowledge and stability of character.
The Senate will have equal representation and the House will have proportional representation.
Fascinating. What about the judicial branch?
They have life tenure.
It's the least dangerous branch.
So, do you agree with our form of government?
Will you help put the Constitution into place?
Yes, you have convinced me to have New York ratify the Constitution. Thank you. It was good talking to you all. Goodbye.
In the end, New York ratified the Constitution, and it was put into effect on June 21, 1788.